brother.
My dog. We back, baby.
Welcome to the Johnson Roundtable, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Give it up. Give it up. We are back like we never left. Season 2 going into Season 3, and we're about to have an exclusive conversation. So the first question is for Thomas Q. Jones. How does your character differ from you in real life?
I don't know if my character in real life differ. My essence, as a black man, I'm able to freely convey through this character on this show because it was created for that reason. For me as a black man to feel comfortable enough to be me and be good enough as me and my character.
Derek Brady. How does Derek Brady differ from Jarvis Johnson?
I can dance. That's it. No. I mean, I think how he differs, Jarvis, newly married, and then going through some woes, has no kids. My life, I've been married for a while to my wife, and we get along. With my wife being black, it's so much easier for her to understand the plight of a black man.
Pass it on to Philip.
I think Keith and Philip are pretty similar. I do think that Keith is very much a creative, free spirit who will say out loud things that Philip would probably just be thinking in his head and maybe not say out loud. There's sort of a, lovable aloofness to Keith that, or maybe he's not aloof. Maybe he's just so confident in himself that he's just like, I'm just gonna say what I'm thinking all the time. And that's something that I admire about Keith.
Okay. Well, for Greg and myself, Greg is not necessarily motivated at this point in his life. He's still trying to figure things out. And, obviously I've known what I wanted to do for a long time. So it's interesting writing for myself, and these other characters is like, how can I, create this narrative for this particular type of black man and then sink into that role to represent for this demographic. The working class, the men who don't necessarily have it all figured out yet, but have great intentions and they're trying, you know what I mean? So, Greg is that dude. Question number 2. To Philip A.J. Smithy, what has being a star on Johnson taught you?
Wow. Well, okay, so being on this show has definitely taught me what it means to show up for your friend. I mean, I feel like I've always felt like I've been a pretty good friend already, to my people, but the way that these guys show up for each other, are constantly there for each other, and will go above and beyond in these situations and overcome the obstacles of friendship is something that is really admirable and that I'm constantly learning from, the scripts that we read.
Thomas, what has being a star on Johnson taught you?
I think being on this show, Johnson, has taught me how important a series like this is to, give the everyday black man a voice. My character Omar representing black men that are fighting for their children and their marriages, because you typically don't see that on TV.
I think, being on Johnson, what it's taught me is really value. I think being in this business for a while, a lot of times as an actor, doubt can follow you along the journey, and sometimes in those hills and valleys, it can be more. And I think on this show, I've really been able to see that not only with the opportunity, but that I have significance and that I can contribute and that it's received. And you don't always know that as an actor if it's not consistently happening all the time.
Being on Johnson has definitely taught me the importance of having a chance or giving people a chance. In front of and behind the screen, if somebody is interested in being in the business and they don't have as much experience, we take them under our wing and we try to show them the ropes. I got a question for Derek. Tell us where your character left off this season, season 3.
Okay. Well, where Jarvis left off was the identity that he thought he had. He is now seeing that it might not have it. Where he goes into season 3 is, I'm not gonna let my brother know that I'm questioning it, but I'm questioning my identity, and now it's let's figure some things out.
Philip?
Well, when we literally last saw Keith, he was establishing his relationship with his new girlfriend, Jackie. He's happy, he's confident, And so we're starting to see what happens to him, evolution-wise, as you see this man reaching a new chapter in his life where he's got his job, he's got his woman, he's feeling good.
Thomas?
We left off with Omar struggling a little bit. He was coming to grips with something that happened in his past, something very, very traumatic that molded him as he continued to grow into manhood, and that's still with him. So going into season 3, how does he heal? How does he get his family back? How does he right his wrongs? It's an uphill battle for Omar in season 3.
And for Greg, I think he had just gotten fired, which he's probably used to that by now. We last saw him, he was in a little bit of a precarious situation with his ex's friend. So we're gonna see how that resolves in season 3. We have some incredible guest stars this season. Who do we have in season 3? Just give me one person. One person.
T.C. Carson.
Woo!
He's gonna bring fire.
T.C. Carson.
Yeah.
We actually have one of my favorite guests that we've ever had on the show come in, and I'm the most excited about our dynamic with our characters, and that would be Gregory Allen Williams.
Okay.
I love getting to work with him, and I cannot wait for people to see what that relationship is like.
And it goes without saying that we have Mr. Cedric the Entertainer back.
The Entertainer.
D.L. Hughley is coming back.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Earthquake.
Earthquake?
I mean, these guys are legends. You know what I'm saying? Kings of comedy. We got Stack as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Steven Jackson. And last but not least, let's give it up for the incredible, the legendary, the beautiful Miss Terry J. Bond.
Miss Terry J. Bond. Yes. Give it up for Terry J.
Well, so it's going to be a dynamic season, and we're excited about it. So the last question, what topics will be explored in the new season? One of the topics that we will address this season is sperm donation. Right? You don't hear about that on TV, but there's a lot more people who are waiting later in life to have kids.
I think a really great topic that we explore is it ever too late to be a father if you haven't been there? That's what Jarvis is going through, trying to figure out if he does end up connecting with his biological father and if that's real.
I think we also deal with gentrification. This show kind of reflects what's happening in our community, and especially when you see around Atlanta, like there's a lot of change that is intended to be beneficial to communities, but it's a double-edged sword because it also costs a lot of the community core, the culture. It's a difficult question when people are like, well, what is progress and what's moving us forward and what's actually setting us back?
I think that's it, fellas. Those are all of our questions for this Johnson Roundtable sponsored by Mercedes-Benz.
You can stream seasons 1 and 2 of Johnson in its entirety right now.
Binge now to catch up or just refresh.
Because we're picking back up where we left off.
Season 3 premieres Saturday, August 5th, only on Bounce.